with $10,000 or more in credit.
My bad. I turned off the YouTube channel. Well, hi, hello, happy Wednesday. I am Simply Wisty, Jasmine. Yeah, my bad, totally. Hey, Yoda. Um, I have 23 days until Katsucon. I have 23 days till Katsucon, and not a lot of has been done for Jinx. Yeah, not a lot. Kind of concerned, kind of worried, especially since next week I will not be here. I have to go up to my parents' house because my dad is getting surgery and I'm going to go help them out. So I will be gone next week and move on with life. So the surgery was supposed to happen in December, so I didn't think much about it, and then it got canceled and moved to this month. And although he needs to get the surgery, it's necessary, I am not keen on the fact that it's literally in the middle of Katsu crunch, but we need to move on. So I am gonna be working on Jinx. I have a fun development. My husband's coworker was able to 3D print some bullets for me. They're not all the bullets I need. He essentially printed a ton of tester bullet casings, and I basically select them. I mean, like, some of them are like gigantic. They're like literally like armor piercing shells here. Like, this is wild. But yeah, he printed out a ton of casings for me. So they're from a free site, and I basically was just putting them next to things to see which ones I like. And I think I'm gonna use this one for my little hair accessory, so I have to have him print out a second one. And then for this one, this is going to be the mass-produced one for all the bullets that will be on her belt. So today I'm going to work on making the belt a reality, so I know how many I have to tell him to print out. And hey, Christy. So yeah, I got bullets casings. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna have so I'm gonna work on the belt, so I know how many bullets he has to print out for me, and then I can like sand and paint them. And although like they're pretty smooth, considering, like, they're very smooth, considering, so I don't think I have to do too much. Also too, since it's supposed to be like metal, I'm not expecting it to be perfect. Also, it's Jinx, so. But yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna save me so much time. So only thing I have to do is actually like send him a picture of the reference art so he knows why he's making me a bunch of bullet casings, which is fine. I'm probably gonna give him a gift card. And once I get the filament, I'll give it to my husband. My husband will pass it to him, and production of bullets will happen. I'm so happy about this. So I'm going to work on the belt today. I think I'm also going to work on the arm warmers. Like, I'm going to make a pattern for that so I can start getting that ready. I started washing my fabric, so I can start using that. I believe I'm going to do something weird for the fabric. I don't think I'm going to actually dip dye it. I think I'm going to use Dynaflow and my airbrush gun. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Only because if you look at the reference art, I'm gonna make it bigger. And this is just a me thing as I'm looking at it. Jinx, let's make her bigger. Come on, Jinx, we want to make you bigger. If you notice, like, on the clouds in the lower portion, they look darker. and then they're lighter up here. So like for me, I'm feeling the vibe that this is like airbrushed or like darkened. And since I'm going to be using different types of material on there, I don't want it to be so bright when I do the Cricut iron-ons. So I'm gonna see if puffy HTV takes well to airbrushing. So that's an idea. And the arm bracers, as you see, it goes like from dark to light. This could be dip dyed, like the whole thing could be dyed. Like I feel like the dress, I could probably dye it a slightly different, a darker shade, and then add airbrushing to make it more darker. So that's like an idea, but this definitely has to be dip dyed. So that's going to be a thing. But yeah, we're going to work on the belt so I know what to do. And I have the skirt draped, which I'm happy about. I might raise up the line a little bit higher. I have to double check the leggy. And then I want to do the pattern for these things. So I have my cling wrap, I have painter's tape. I can't find my masking tape. I know it's somewhere in this house. But I'm not in the mood to be searching for my masking tape. So I'm going to use painter's tape, the cling wrap to get a pattern of my arm and then draw out what I need for that. Because the back is going to be stretchy, so I'm not worried about the front. And we'll see how time goes with that because I need to really work on that belt. So, actually, let me look up something real fast that I forgot to look up. Okay, so we're going to work on her cartridge belt. And the interesting thing I'm noticing about the cartridge belts is, let's see, what's this one look like? Okay, this is more the way I was going to go do my cartridge belt. Okay. Why do they only have one photo of it? Why don't they have like nice pictures of these cartridge belts? It's annoying. As I'm like here looking at gun tools and stuff like that, which is actually interesting because I don't think I'd get flagged being that I live in a red state, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Yeah, essentially I was thinking of just taking the belt, make a belt, and then like do loops for each one so I can just like slide it in because I am using stretch material for my belt, so that might work. But yeah, here's the belt, the one for the belt. So they're not as, I could use a larger one, but I don't want it to be uncomfortable because like this is like a really big one and you can see the size difference. But I don't like the larger one. I kind of like the smaller one. So I think I'm going to go with the smaller one. I'm going to need more of the smaller ones, but I think it'll be cute. I think it'll be much cuter than if I use a large one. Yeah, this is obnoxious, and I feel like if I sit down, it's just gonna like, poke and stab me, so I feel like I should go with the smaller one. No pokey stabby in my waist. So. We're not gonna go pokey stabby in my waist. So. I got some Yaya Han, what is this? Like, the Magic Mystique stretch pleather. I got it because It's shiny. It's a shiny fabric, so why not have shiny fabric? But I wanted spandex, so we have spandex. So essentially what I just need to do is kind of like get like my waist hip measurement on an angle and cut out a strip that it is that length, and then start doing the top. So we're going to do a base layer, and then we're going to do a second layer. Oh, that was okay. Let me start writing things down so I don't forget them. So the trick to this whole thing is I'm going to, that's for the tattoos. So I'm going to make it drape like this. I'm not going to make it too wide. And then I'm going to do a secondary strip that's just going to kind of hug the actual top layer, and then like sew in between and make channels to slide in each of the little doodads. So I'm gonna do 39 and 5/8. I could even get away with 40. All right, so I think I'm gonna do 40 inches width, and then for height, okay, I'm gonna make it 3 inches wide, but I need seam allowance. So, we'll make it 4.5 inches high, and then I'll sew it down to the actual proper length. So I hope everyone's having a lovely day. Despite the fact that we have essentially the collapse of our the collapse of our known existence is imminent, apparently. I am kind of excited for Katsucon. I know MagFest is this weekend, and so I hope everyone who's going to MagFest has a lovely time. I know a lot of people need this time to just, you know, veg and chill out and stuff, and that's very important. I hope they have a lovely, adorable time. Okay, so this is going to be like 60 inches, and then I'll just cut it down to what I need. So that'll be, the width will be 60, but I'm going to do some fun things. Oh, let me get my nifty new thing that I bought that I haven't shown yet. I got washers from Home Depot. So the other day I went into Home Depot to look for a shovel, a snow shovel, because we didn't have any snow shovels in the house. And obviously it was going to snow. And I was like, let me go see if I can find a shovel. And of course, apparently Tennesseans who've lived in Tennessee have never seen snow, which is a complete falsehood because they have seen snow. But they act like they never did. And all the snow shovels were sold out. So however, when I was still in Home Depot, I was like, you know what? Do they have a box of giant flat washers that I can use as pattern weights? Because, let me put the bullet in my sweater. Because a lot of times I don't always, like, you don't always want to be pinning your fabric because it can cause damage to the fabric and actually cause distortion as you sew. So I went out of my therefore what I essentially did was look for pattern weights. I found some washers and I'm going to use them as pattern weights and I'm very happy about that. So let's see. All right. Oh no, this is on the wrong side. I'm on the centimeters side of my board and I didn't even realize it. I should really learn the metric system. But I have a hard time even understanding the 24-hour clock. So I don't know if me learning the metric system is going to be very, very possible. Yeah, so I bought some washers from Home Depot to use as weights for my fabric, to hold down patterns, to hold down the fabric when I cut it. So and I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good decision, even economically, because for $12, $12 or $13, I got 25 washers. So, I have an army of little washers to hold down fabric, which makes me happy. So okay, let's see. I said I was going to do what, 4.5 inches again? Yeah, because it's 4.5 inches. It's a little bit more than 4.5 inches. And I really just want it to be covering that. Maybe 3.5? 3.25? Yeah, 3.25. Okay. So we'll just sew it. We'll cut out 4.5 inches. Three, 4, 5. No, my ruler isn't long enough for all this fabric. That's so sad. Well then. I'll just make sure I mark it properly then. I have been hibernating like a bear lately. Look, I don't even want to see the outside. And the only reason why I even have been going outside is because it's absolutely necessary. But I have been a bear. I have been hibernating. And there is absolutely no shame in my hibernating skills at the moment. Oh, this fabric's pretty chalk resistant. I never knew that. So there is an irony to the fact that a lot of the fabric I'm currently using for this build, though I did buy some in the garment district, has mostly morphed into a Joann's haul of fabric, given the recent news about Joann's fabrics. I'm very sad by this. I'm not even going to lie. Because I had always wanted to shop at Joann's and be able to use Joann fabrics like a lot of other cosplayers. Thankfully, I lived in New York, so I had the garment district, and I was easily able to get fabric whenever I needed it. But there was like the weird camaraderie everyone had about Joann's that I never understood because I never had one. And now that I have a beautiful Joann's about 12 minutes away from my house, and to think it is just going to poof from existence makes me very sad. Also, too, there is no other place for me to get fabric unless I buy online. So. Okay. I have a strip of the black cutout, and then I'm going to need a secondary strip that I'm probably going to make pretty short because I want to just make sure it covers just this portion of the bullet. So I am trying to figure out the best way to do this. I think I'm just going to... Yeah, I'll probably just double it up so I can fold it over and make it a thing make it a thing. I'm going to take it over here. Okay, so I'm going to cut out another 4 inches from this to ensure I can double it up, and then I'll just fold it over, sew it, and leave it as is. It's going to be very interesting to see how it gets handled. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4. The only reason why I'm okay freehanding this project without a pattern is because it's rectangles. It legitimately is just a rectangle after a rectangle after a rectangle. And that's it. So I haven't been doing much. I was supposed to do work on Jinx this weekend, and I just couldn't bring myself to do anything. Slept in on Saturday. I did my weekly trip to the dump. I know, sounds so exciting. I went to the dump. I went to the dump to throw out trash, because that's what I do with my husband every Saturday. And after we went to the dump, I kind of just hung out at home. We have been obsessed with some idling by type game. And that's basically what we played most of Saturday. Trying to remember what else I did on Saturday aside from that. I've been working actively on my yearly plans, which I know sounds weird because like it's already January and I should know what I'm doing for 2025. But it's okay. You know, the tortoise did win the race after all. So it's not like it's impossible. But I started like trying to figure out different plans for this year and how I want to achieve my goals. So I worked on that. And then Sunday was even less productive than Saturday. And that was really it. Like my weekend kind of dissolved into nothingness very quickly. And then Monday we were off for MLK. And I was like, oh, cool. My husband has to go to work, so I'll just wake up when he needs to go to work. It'll be fine. I had a bout of what they call middle insomnia. So essentially what that means is you sleep for a certain amount of hours, wake up in the middle of the night or early morning and cannot fall asleep. And then eventually you fall back asleep. So like there's a point in your sleep cycle that you just wake up and you can't go back to bed. So I've been getting bouts of middle insomnia here and there. And it's annoying. It's a pain in the butt. I don't like it. And so it happens to me and I can't sleep. So I was up for roughly, this is line 5. I was up for roughly 3 hours and could not sleep. So it sucked. It was a very, very bad night. I was not happy. So I thought I was gonna wake up and like be ready to take on the world and like try to get some things done because I would be home all day and then I couldn't sleep. So it was not fun at all. Okay, this is awesome. I'm gonna make it a little bit, I'm gonna give it an extra inch. Again, the best thing about this is it's not necessarily supposed to be fitted. It's supposed to just drape on my hips and waist. So I might put a small snap on one side just to see if it boosts it up. But most likely it's gonna be something that I can probably just pull over my head or pull over my hips and call it a day. So we shall see how that works. So this is for the actual bullets. So I'm just gonna fold it and then I'll sew it down. I should pull out my serger for this so I can have this pretty much ready to go. So as you see, I'm just taking the fold and I'm gonna sew this way. And I'm gonna use my serger because I wanna have a pretty good elasticity in this. And thankfully, because I was working on U-Bell the last time I used that machine, my serger is threaded in black. So makes my life even better. Although there is ways to like make it so you could use different colors. Like I think you only have to change one spool. You can use like 3 of the same spool, like a completely different color, but there's only one that actually is visible when the fabric stretches, and that's the one you should use. The color match it. But since your girl bought, I don't know, stock in serger threads, many, many years ago, I can switch out the 4 threads as much as I want. Because I am pretty sure I have a hot pink that's as dark as my current fabric for Jinx. So I can serge up my edges because I don't think I'm going to do fancy finishings on it. I'm just going to serge it. And then put the lining in the skirt so the upper fabric doesn't get disgusting and gross when I walk through the halls of the Gaylord with it. So okay, let's shrink this down to size as well. So apparently the Razzie nominations came out, and the top contender is the Joker musical movie. I don't even know how to say it, whatever that is. Apparently that got it, and he got nominated to be the worst actor, which I find very funny. Especially since he got an Oscar for like his role as the Joker in the original Joker film. So, but apparently no one liked the musical, so I've not watched it, so I can't give my opinion. Yep, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Yep, that's how it's supposed to go. Awesome. So I saw that on the news this morning and I kind of laughed, especially since my friend Usako is like in love with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, and I think even she got nominated a Razzie. So I guess people didn't get the vision. I don't know. Look at that. I've never seen the movie. What has been happening aside from the destruction of our country? I've been watching some animes. The winter season is in full effect. Last night my husband started watching an anime that I was like, wait, I wanted to watch that one too. So we are probably going to start watching that tonight, so I'm excited. So far we have Ari Fruta on Mondays. Tuesday we have nothing, although we started watching this really weird high school rom-com, which is Medica Kuriwa. Medica Kuriwa is impervious to my charms. That is like the weirdest, like, adolescent fever dream of a show that I could have expected this season. So there's a female protagonist, and basically it's a shonen told through mostly a female perspective. And she, since she was born, had been considered a very like charming, adorable girl that catches the eyes of everybody. Doesn't matter age, gender, they all fall in love with her. And there just happens to be this one kid who just transferred into her high school that constantly refuses her charms. Now, it's not that the guy isn't interested. It's because he is training to be like a temple monk or temple priest. And he is fighting his basic urges and avoid this girl at all costs because he is forbidden to have romance. So it's interesting because she's essentially throwing herself all over this guy. And he's just like, clear mind, clear thoughts, clear mind, clear body. Like, it's just so weird and so funny. So, but like her obsession to get him to like fall for her is ridiculous. And in a way, despite how everyone is always like, you know, it kind of does show like a pretty, like how some women can be extremely petty, especially ones who think they look who think they look good. Because literally she wakes up and the first thing in the morning, she's very conceited. She's like, hello, beautiful. And I was like, wow, you're kind of conceited. So it's interesting to see. So she basically gets knocked down a peg by a guy who's trying to do the right thing and be chivalrous. So I'm kind of interested to see how that one continues, but I don't know if we're going to watch it. So Wednesdays, I think tonight we're going to watch the one I want to see, which is the Elf Girls. It's an isekai, so it has a weird long name, but it's called The Elf Girls Pet Cat is an S-rank monster. And essentially, it's an isekai of a house cat. Yes. And the house cat is like an S-rank monster from a dungeon. So this cute little tiny cat can like destroy things. I think it's called like it's like a play on the word behemoth. It's like Behemoth or something like that. My husband found it last night and I was like, we need to watch this one. This is the one we need to watch. So it was kind of like the guy who got like isekai as a vending machine several seasons, like about a year ago, over a year ago. Hello, Serger. How are you today? Okay. We shall use the Serger. We did start watching Honey Lemon Soda. It was cute. It feels like one of those, like you kind of have to wait for it to pick up. So I'm very curious to see what happens as the season goes on. And Friday we have Apothecary Diaries. So on Fridays we definitely are watching Apothecary Diaries. Saturday is Solo Leveling and Sakamoto Days. So those two definitely are like on my list. I really like Sakamoto Days. I didn't think I'd like it as much, but oof, it's just so funny. And if people watch the English version of Sakamoto Days, Matt Mercer is the voice of Sakamoto, which is really funny because Sakamoto doesn't talk that much. So yeah, he doesn't talk that much, so it's kind of funny that they got somebody like Matt Mercer to do a character that barely speaks. Yet, he is the title character, so just to show you. Come on, buddy. Where are you? Okay. I think that works. So this morning I had to wait for a plumber to come to my house because my garbage disposal had a small leak. And I was very concerned that this leak was going to cause an issue with my cabinets because water's an evil thing that will destroy everything if you're not careful. So the plumber came by. And I wasn't even sure if the plumber was going to come at a reasonable time. I was really worried that he was going to show up like super late. But thankfully he showed up on time. And it wasn't a big issue. It was something actually pretty simple. And he fixed it. And I was very happy because he didn't charge us the dispatch fee to have him come. He was like, it's such a simple thing. I feel weird charging you for something like that. He was like, if I can put stickers on your HVAC unit and hot water and your water tank, we can waive the fee. Because apparently the company that I hired are very into making sure that they have a lot of like good publicity. So he even told me, he's like, if you leave a review, I get $20. And I was like, review. The tip I don't need to spend money on. Oh, this is what I needed to do. My bad. Okay. I don't even know if that worked out properly, so I have to redo it. The annoying thing about using the serger is making sure your settings are correct. No, I like the other one better. So, but thankfully, the issue wasn't a big issue and it was solved relatively easily, and I'm just forever grateful for that. It did the thing because I'm going too fast. And the thing is, it literally unraveled itself. It does that. So. Yeah, so if I don't go a specific speed, this thing dies on me. So it's very annoying. Yeah, let's just figure. Let's rethread this and see what happens. Oh, I think it's over there. Since my machine tends to do this a lot, I've gotten very good at threading it. I still, you know, someday in the future, when I'm famous and have money, I would like to get an air locking one. It automatically does it on its own. You hit a button and it threads itself. That would be so cool. So wonderful. But I am not rich. I am not famous. So we're not getting that. Hell, I wouldn't even mind having a 3D printer at this point. But we shall see. So yeah, we're watching some animes this season. I said last week I finished Yuki Yuna, or at least season 1 of Yuki Yuna, and was disappointed that seasons 2 and 3 were not dubbed. Not that I don't want to read the subtitled one, it's just like I want to watch something while I'm doing other things. It's kind of hard to do that when I have to read subtitles. So I watched the second episode of like Rama 1/2 and haven't like really gotten into it. It's cute and funny, and I might just put it on in the background as I'm sewing or something, or like doing other things like cleaning, but I really don't see myself watching it, like fully invested in it. It's not my type of show, so I kind of like eh. Ironically, I started rewatching Gundam Seed Destiny. And it's very interesting because the dubbed and the subtitles are nowhere near alike. They're like very different, which I understand, but at the same time, I'm like, if this is supposed to be my closed captioning, it should at least be somewhat similar, not completely different. So that's been interesting. Also, too, whoever they picked to do Shin's voice, his English voice, I'm just like, huh? Why does he sound like a 50-year-old man? Like, he sounds like an old man. He does not sound like a teenager, which makes me laugh. So that's interesting. That's been like an interesting rewatch. I'm partly rewatching it because I want to watch Freedom. I haven't watched the Gundam Seed Freedom movie. I feel like that's a tragedy for me because it got released last in the summer and I have yet to watch it, and I'm like, how is this possible? I also think too, mostly because it doesn't have Kagli and Arthur in it. I really don't care. So did it again. I'm annoyed. Okay, let me see. Which one popped again? I think it's this one. Yep. It's you. It's always you, buddy. Okay. I need to rethread these two. I think I have to do the last one first in the... Yeah, I gotta do the last one first. Hello. I think you're working now. Okay. Oh no. It's being difficult. So tomorrow I'm planning on doing a co-working writing stream instead of doing my evening streams because I'm going to I'm gonna be very honest. I am very tired by the evening. The nighttime comes and I'm very tired, and sometimes I'm more tired than others, and I feel with the winter season I'm always slightly more exhausted. However, another reason why I am not streaming is tomorrow is my wedding anniversary. So my husband and I have some reservations to celebrate for dinner, and I'm excited. I should probably look at the menu and see what food they have because I don't know. But we're going to be celebrating our 4-year wedding anniversary tomorrow, which is still surreal that it has been 4 years. Not because it's a bad thing, but because it's gone by so fast, which is a good thing. However, it's still one of those, wow, we got married in the middle of the pandemic. We got married when things were slowly starting to open up. And New Jersey actually was allowing people, like, places to host events. And we had to reduce our guest list by half to maintain the restrictions. So, but yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do a morning, afternoon co-writing, co-working stream so I can keep working on my outline for my novel. And then that evening I'm gonna go celebrate my wedding anniversary. I'm just like slightly bummed that I'm not gonna be around next week because next week is Lunar New Year. And I love Lunar New Year. I really enjoy it. My husband makes all these yummy dishes, all this yummy food, and we just get to sit back and enjoy it and like make good wishes for the upcoming year, for prosperity and like happiness. And I will be in New York. Because my father's surgery is the day before. My father's surgery is the day before Lunar New Year, so they will be up in New York at that time, so. Okay, I'm not a fan of how the stitches look. Okay. So currently the stitches kind of have a very, like, they're not flush, so I need to make it a little tighter. Maybe this one too. Actually, this one. Each tension rod has a different focus, and depending on how your threads look, that's how you adjust it. No, the problem is I don't always remember which one's which, so. Yep, finally got it. A lot of times I just keep moving the dials until I find one that I like. So, yay, I finally found one. So let's start serging these things together. Hopefully it goes without a problem, so we'll see how it works. I'm not going to go super fast because, again, every time I do that, something happens with my threads. So we're going to go slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. Let's see. So again, currently I'm working on the belt for Jinx. And it's gonna be like, what do they call it? A cartridge belt? Yeah, a cartridge belt. So it's supposed to hold the bullet casings or the bullet cartridges. And it's gonna go around, like, sling itself on my waist and hips. And I'm using, it's Yaya Han's, stretch pleather, like the, magic sheen, low sheen fabric. So, I like it. I think it's really pretty, especially for this type of project, where I want some sparkle and some glam. I will admit, though, it's been very interesting with this extreme cold, because locally, I kind of laugh because I'm like, have these people never dealt with cold weather in their lives? Because there's quite a few counties around me that closed school today because of the extreme cold. So, that was interesting. And a lot of people were complaining that our county didn't close schools. Because do they not care about the children? The weather, it's so cold. And I'm just like, what do you mean? I'm like, you guys have winter. Like, winter exists in this state. It's not like it doesn't. It's not like Florida, who, like, especially like central and southern Florida, winter is not a thing. And the sheer fact that it snowed down there is a huge, like, noteworthy thing. And yes, it is very cold. But you can buy a coat at Walmart locally. Like, there are coats out. There are sweatshirts. There are sweaters. Like, it's funny because they're all like, we don't have layers like that. And I was like, wow, you guys really, like, what do you think? Like, there's some special layers that Northerners use? Like, no. We just layer up, like, multiple clothings we own. We're not, like, putting on special tactical, Arctic gear. We're just putting on an extra t-shirt, an extra layer, an extra sweater. That's it. Nothing special. So, very interesting. And I can't help but think half the moms that are all like screaming they want closures is because these are the same parents that pull their kids out of school at weeks at a time. So they could go on vacation during the school year. And they already have been on like the list by the local education. Like the Department of Education already has like their eyes on them because their kid has been absent so much. And they just wanted another day off for their kid without any repercussion. Because honestly, if you feel like it's too cold for your kid, keep them home. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your child. If you want to keep them home, keep them home. My kid is like laughing at this cold. He's like, whatever. And at that, he's not even wearing like his full winter gear because he gets dropped off right in front of the building of school. Walks in and doesn't leave. Until I go pick him up. So I don't see what is like the whole necessity. But whatever. I'm just happy they didn't close. Because I thought it was stupid. And I was like, I kind of felt bad for like the ones who were like talking about like their elementary school kids, but there was this one mom this morning who was going hard and she was like talking about the high school kids. And I'm like, sweetheart, you do realize college isn't going to close down. Like college is not going to stop because it's cold. So start getting your kid used to it now. She's like, oh my God, they have to sometimes cross the street from one parking lot to the next. And I'm like, man, they got a parking lot that they can park their cars in? And they just gotta cross the street? It ain't that serious, lady. Calm down. So. But this is just me being like the northern brat. Although like quite a few people have moved from like colder climates here and they're all like very confused about what's happening too. So I'm not the only one. Like the snow, I get. Like the snow and the streets and not being plowed, I get that. It's a large expense. It's a large expense for places outside of like these areas that aren't used to it, you know, like that are used to it frequently. It's a very large expense and they do set aside quite a bit of money to handle all that problem. So I'm not expecting areas like this that don't normally see very heavy snowfalls unless it's something very abnormal to be closing because of it. I'm not expecting them to get like an army of snowplows and snow and all this other stuff. But when you're talking about the street, the roads are clear, the buses can move, but it's cold. No. Don't tell me it's because you don't want to spend money on winter gear. I'm like, you can layer up without owning a bunch of winter gear. Just need to make sure you have shoes that are not even insulated, but like aren't like breathable. So get sturdy boots that aren't breathable material. You could even use like, I hate saying this, rain boots. Like, I don't know why they're not acting like you can wear a pair of rain boots and be fine because they tend to be pretty well insulated. And they buy rain boots down here because it's always raining. So, and you don't need necessarily a heavy winter coat. Take 2 sweatshirts, put them on, and throw on like a windbreaker, and you're good. Like, it's not difficult. Over here, they're acting like it's impossible to get ready for the winter here. And I'm like, the current jacket I'm using to drive around in is from North Carolina. The warm part of North Carolina that really doesn't get snow or winter. And I got it there. So, yeah. Whatever. So I'm gonna just take the seam that I sewed and put it towards the back. And I'm gonna flatten this out. I'm gonna take a very like low heat iron and put a piece of like a, oh my gosh, what's the name of it? Words, English not coming to me. Presser cloth. I'm just gonna put a presser cloth and just press down on it to make it crisp and flat. Then that's it. So it's nice and even and flat, and I don't have to worry about it. But like, that's the next step. Oh, this would be really pretty if I use this on Ubel for her like neck piece. I'm already thinking about Ubel, like what I have to finish on Ubel, what I have to work on her. Mind you, I don't even know if I'll have time to wear all these costumes at KatsuCon. But like, having them done is important. I also got my nails done. They're like a lavenderish color. Ironically, it's like my favorite brush pen color. Like, I have a brush pen that I'm always using that's like the same color. That's kind of funny. Oh. I heard a dog. I'm like, I don't own a dog. But it sounded so close. So my neighbor might have their dog out in their yard. I hope it's for one of those like quick, here, go do your business breaks. Not because they actually have their dog outside. Because that's cruel. But I don't see the dog anywhere, so. I just heard it. And it startled me. Oh, I don't think I put my iron on. I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the other side, on the other one. Just flatten it out to make it get even and move on. So. I'm thinking after Katsu, I might take a short crafting break. Although I feel I can still just do like a couple of I can still do my crafting streams, but I think I might do more co-working writing streams after Katsu, because I would, again, really, really, really like to finish my novel, at least by the second quarter. So I'm hoping to have it done by May. And I can't be crafting all the time and not working on that, so I am making a push to that, so that's important. It's actually been very interesting outlining the project. It's also very interesting seeing how often AI is discussed in processes of writing. Like, part of me is somewhat sad I'm no longer in education, because I would love to see what they're trying to sell the schools in terms of like AI, like materials for like education purposes. I would love to know what they're doing about that. I'm gonna press this down. It's such a mess on that side. Hello, hello. Okay, yeah. I'm over here just pressing this down. I'm just raising the iron up and down and just dropping it on the fabric. I'm probably going to top stitch some of this, but I just want to make sure it looks good before I do the top stitching. Because I feel if I do top stitching, it's just going to make it, it's going to elevate and make it look more expensive than just cheap. It's not cheap spandex, but it's just spandex. So I want to give it more of a actual like leather-like illusion. So that's what we're going to do. Generally, I'm that type of cosplayer that does a lot more than what I need to just get something done for the sake of making it look the way I want it to. So, yeah, that's just how I am. Shush. Don't make noise. We don't need that. Okay, I need to keep pressing this side a little bit more. Let's start putting these things away. Yeah, apparently there is a difference between pressing and ironing, which I just learned about. So I've been testing out different things to see how it works. Stop making all that noise. Just work for me. Oh no, what's wrong with it? So we'll see. I thought about working on the wig today, but since I just did my nails yesterday, I don't want to like mess up my nails too fast. So I will continue to work on the wig, but not now. Okay, it needs a little bit more pressing because I still got a weird crease in the fabric up here. So let's just press it down a little bit more and grab the next piece. We'll just leave the iron there on top of it, smushing it to death. I should probably smush down this side a little bit more now that I think about it. Because the other side is a little wider, and I think that's because it's been pressed a little longer and more thoroughly. See, it's all crisp now. And it's just more to like give it a little bit more, what do you call it? Having it be a bit more ready for the pressing process, for the sewing process. So I'm probably just going to sew them together after I test it to see if it goes over my hips. So, yeah, and this is the actual belt that will be the base, and then everything else on top will follow. So, let's see. Okay, I should take off my mic because I want to be smacking it. Because that wouldn't be fun at all. I'm currently very hungry. It's like I'm the very hungry pumpkin. I'm very hungry. And if you never heard of it, it was what do you call it? One of those little games for kids. Like one of those little like flash type games that little kids would play about to learn different objects. My son played it a bit. And the pumpkin would always go, I'm very hungry. I want a pizza. And then if you would put the pizza there, he would be happy. He was like, oh, thank you. But if you put something that wasn't pizza on there, like an apple, he would be like, what? I don't want that. So it's something I still reference to my kid to this day. The very hungry pumpkin. Come on, turn back on. So that's my silly reflection on strange flash games that my kid played. Yeah, the cloth is in between this and the fabric because this fabric, you really shouldn't be ironing it. And this way, if you put it on a low heat, it will actually help protect it. So a lot of times I use presser cloth more than what I want to admit, just because I don't want to destroy my fabric. So I use a presser cloth quite often. Because for the most part, you can use a presser cloth all the time. You don't need to avoid it just because your fabric isn't sensitive. However, it is important to use it when you have sensitive fabric, but you can use it on almost any fabric. Like sometimes if you iron polyester, it has a extra shine to it when it heats up. And a way you can prevent a lot of that shine is putting a presser cloth or a piece of fabric, scrap fabric, between your iron and your actual garment that you're ironing. So, little small tricks. Yeah, so this weekend I'm planning on locking and loading as much as I can on Jinx because I would like to get the majority of the dress at least somewhat constructed before I leave, at least the base layer. Because that way when I come back, I have like a week to work on all the finishings and the decorative aspects. I don't want to spend the week before KatsuCon making this dress. So that's what we're going to be working on. I'm just happy flights to DC were not astronomical or expensive because I really didn't want to drive up to the DC Maryland area to the National Harbor because that's like an 8-hour drive. And although I can do an 8-hour drive, I really don't want to. So, especially by myself. Maybe if my husband was coming with me, it'd be a different story. But he is not. And I will be as alone. And I'm like, I don't want to do that drive by myself. It's bad enough I did the whole New York, Tennessee to New York thing by myself. Granted, my kiddo was with me, but he can't drive, so that doesn't help. It's just nice having a companion in the car. But yeah. So thankfully the flights weren't astronomical and I was able to use some of my savings for it. So I'm happy about that. I think like if I were to go to Otakon in the summer, I might actually do the same thing because I don't think driving would be fun either. Unless it was something that we drove in Wednesday and came back Monday, I would prefer doing it that way than not. So I would have to see what happens, and what my husband and I could do, and if how many work, how many PTO days he has left. Because as it currently stands, we don't have any major trips planned anytime soon, so he should have some PTO unless, I don't know, something else comes up. But currently he should have PTO for Otakon, so that would be like only 3 days, like Wednesday. No, before Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Unless we leave, like he does a half day on Wednesday, and we leave late. That could work too. I'm really just trying to let the iron sit on this without moving it. So okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sew this together before I do the top stitching, so I have it sewn together. And then I will sew this one together. On the wrong side. Come back. Come back, camera. Stowless. Yeah, so I'm going to just sew this one together. I'm basically making a loop. It's not an actual belt. It's going to be a faux belt. And then this is the piece that's going to go right on the top of it that I'm going to just sew the channels in. And since this is stretchy fabric, I don't think I have to worry about not being able to slide the bullets in. And also, if it's a pretty snug fit, it's even better. Because I don't have to worry about like actually attaching things into it. So, oh my gosh, it's going to look so cute like this. Yes. Okay. So, let's to serge or not to serge is the question. I guess I'll just serge it together. This way it still has elasticity up and down. So we'll do it that way. And then if anything, I can always sew it over to one side or something off the craft table. It's like, did I get a phone call? I don't even know. Wait, what? What do you mean? You said I was supposed to get it tonight. So what are you talking about? Tomorrow? You lied. It said I got free overnight shipping, and now they're saying it won't. My filament won't be here until tomorrow, which is fine. It's okay. I'm not too concerned about it, but I'm more annoyed than anything. Like, what? What do you mean? You said I was supposed to have you by tomorrow. You lie. Liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. It's fine. I just need basic filament. Okay, that will work, and then I can top stitch the whole loop. So let's do that. I need to get my other machine. You're blinding me. I've been very cautious since I had issues with the presser foot on my last machine. So I have been making sure I don't like crink the wire too much, because I don't want to have to replace it again. I need a ballpoint needle. The one important thing I need to make sure I have is bobbin, and currently I have none. So let's go make some bobbins. And then we can sew the top stitching on this. So a lot of the things I have here are because I was working on the mock-up of the dress. So I just have regular thread on here, nothing crazy. It is also going to take me a little bit of time to do this because I'm going to use a stretch stitch. So the stitch is going to go forward and back and like kind of like overlap it. Hopefully it looks good. I'm going to try it on a piece of fabric first, scrap, to see if I like it. Because I want to be able to put this over my hips and not have it warp. So actually I have a few black bobbins. Hooray! Okay. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to change the needle. My bad. Almost forgot about that. I have an 8014 on here. I'm going to use a 7511 on this puppy right now. So this is a stretch needle. It's supposed to be good. It's supposed to like have more of a blunt head on the needle point. So when it kind of like rounds its way into the fabric instead of piercing it. So here's my scrap fabric. This way I also test out the presser foot and see if this is the foot I want for this, or if I want to use my nylon foot. It looks like that. I don't mind it at all. I think it gives it a nice little finished look. So at least it does it well. So I don't have to worry about it too much, it like destroying the fabric or anything, which is great. That was a concern. I'm doing it on the wrong side, I realize. Why me? Okay. Let's start doing the top stitching on this thing. Hmm. It's giving me more trouble than what I thought. Not happy about that. You know what I could do too, that I just realized? I'm gonna do that. Now, a walking foot would make this infinitely easier, but I do not own one, so we're just gonna do some old school taping and hope that helps out quite a bit. Sometimes it does. You'd be surprised. I know what's happening and I'm not happy about it, so this is not working the way I thought it was. So I guess I'm gonna just have to skip the whole, like, actual, like, putting it together, the way I thought I would. Because being a butthead. Yeah, I could try to use my nylon foot on top and see if that helps. But I know what's wrong with this section. So I'm gonna just kind of skip it and see how the other sections fare. The focus is hard again. I'm just focusing. Zoning in, sorry. Because I realized I did this wrong again, so it's okay. This is why we work on things a little earlier. So when we make mistakes, we can fix them without a problem. So, I'm working on that right now. The issue is, like, with taking out the stitches on this one, it's a lot harder because since it went back and it essentially makes, like, a double stitch. So the stitches can, like, kind of, like, move like that. So it interlocks the stitch without being an overlocker. So it's very interesting. So it's actually a stitch I like using quite frequently, especially when I need to do like straight stitches in a fabric, stretch fabric. Since this machine has that stretch feature, it's like perfect. But it's so much harder to remove stitches from here, so I'm struggling at the moment, which is fine. Okay. So, what I realized I should have done after I did it was I should have just French seamed this. That way it would have been a clean edge on the inside of the garment and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to just do that now. Realization hit me. I should have done it that way. So I'm going to do it now. So. Now I'm happy I added that extra inch on my belt. And now we slide the jumper in. Just to help go over that thick seam that's here currently. I'm a fool. I did it the wrong way again. Darn it. It's supposed to be wrong sides together, then right sides together. Holy cow. As I'm like doing this, I was like, wait, I think I did it the wrong way again. And I did. Wow. My brain is not functioning today, apparently. It's okay. I feel like with everything going on, my brain is just not in a good spot. I don't think a lot of people's are. And it's interesting because I'm very fortunate that I'm home and I'm not dealing with people in the public. Because I think if I were working and having to deal with people outside, it would be infinitely worse. I mean, yesterday I went to the dealership to deal with something with our car. And I'm there and waiting, and obviously we're in a red state. They're playing Fox in the background, and just watching like all of these hillbilly men staring at the screen and like hearing in the background all the headlines. It's like, wow, this is what it's like out there, huh? And it's not something I'm very happy about. And I know a lot of people aren't happy about it. And it's just like, I'm kind of fortunate. My husband had to remind me that last night. He's like, you aren't working. You're not out and about in the regular society. So you're able to actually like do a lot more protection of like your mindset because of it. And I should totally do that. I should allow myself that gift. So I did have the news on this morning, which is how I found out about the Razzies. And honestly, hysterically enough, I think that's like the one thing I remembered. Like, oh, they're gonna have, the Joker movie is the new Joker movie got put up for a Razzie award. And then seeing like all the moms be Karens about the cold air and like how their little baby couldn't go wait for the bus has been very amusing. Though frustrating, but amusing. So right now I'm like trying to remind myself how to do this because clearly I forgot. And I've done French seams. In fact, I just did French seams on Yubel's skirt, but the issue with that was since the fabric literally was like the front, the right side of the fabric is the same as the wrong. It didn't matter which way I did it. Yesterday I had my writing group, and the woman that is there's two women in the group. One who lives in the Eastern time zone like me, and another one who lives in Central time zone, because Tennessee is split in the two different time zones. So she's more west of us, the other one. And I really like the one that lives by Nashville in the Central time zone. However, the one who's south of me, she's sweet, but she's very rambly. And I put my outline up to get some feedback, and she wound up rambling about everything else other than if she read my outline. And I'm kind of like, I want feedback on my outline, but I don't want to be rude and interrupt you. And it was just one of those things of like, if the other woman was here, I know my outline would have been discussed. So. And unfortunately, she works, the one in Nashville. So, like, she's talking to us during her lunch break, which I'm very grateful for. But at the same time, I'm like, if the other one who was more south of me would not have, and it's like, I'm no fault of her own. She has like a lot of chronic illness and stuff like that. And I'm completely fine with it. It's just one of those things of like, I don't know what to do or how to help her because she just sits there and complains about her chronic illness all the time. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. I hope you're able to get your work done as you keep saying you would, but like I did work. So the group I'm in, they're supposed to be having a new set of writing groups coming up with the next session of the course. So maybe I just might be like, I like this person, the other person has a lot of medical personal things that prevent her from really contributing very well to the group. I can't even begin to tell you what her purpose is in the, like, why did she make the why she joined the mastermind group? Because it's like, she's like, I want to talk about what we do in the course, and like, she never explains like any questions or problems she's having. So I'm just like, what are we supposed to discuss? What are your problems? What don't you understand? Yes, this is how it's supposed to go. Sweet, finally figured it out. Whew. That took a moment. And again, I feel bad. I don't want to like exclude anyone because they have like a chronic illness or something like that. But the problem is it's more like it's becoming like a wine fest. And I'm just like, I want to help you, but I don't know what you need help in when it comes to this writing thing. I cannot help you with your personal problems. Your personal issues are your own personal issues. And yes, you can tell us how it's made it difficult. And I completely understand and respect that. And you could let me know that you're having a hard time because of whatever personal problem you're having. However, maybe we could talk about something that isn't your writing, or something about, like, since you said you wanted to talk about the course more often, what about the course do you need more clarity on? We're here for you to support you. And it's literally just complaining about personal matters, and I just don't know what to say. So I kind of feel like I'm gonna see if with the next set I'll let them know that I like the other one, and if they can place me with a different group, that would be helpful. And I don't even care if they're in my region, as long as they're in my time zone. I think that would be better. I just literally went through the stopper again. The hopper again. Okay. That's more better. That's more what I was hoping it would look like. So we did that. So let's start doing that little top stitch that I want to do all around it. Yep, there we go. It's just gonna take me a minute because it's hard to see the seam allowance, the width. Okay. I probably only did a little tiny bit. Yeah. It's such a small little amount, but it makes it look more belt-like. Okay. Whew. Oh wow, I don't have that much left on this side. Okay, we're just going through this motion. Hopefully I get through it quickly because I've already done like the edging on this and it's not a lot of difference, but it's like you have this and then you have this side. So it gives it a more finished look, which I like. I prefer. We're getting to the jumper part. And even if it didn't come out perfect here, it's okay, because most likely a bullet can cover that area, so... Oh wow, it looks really cute! It's not a giant, thick, like... It's not a huge, stitch line, but it gives it such a cute little finish that I'm proud of it. Okay, we'll do the other side. And just continue to glide on. Okay, I should sit down a little bit because my leg's getting kind of tired, leaning an awkward way. Okay. Who would have thought this would burn me out, but it is. I'm so quiet because I'm staring at the needle so intently to make sure I keep the distance the same as I sew through it. Yeah, you could kind of see already like how you get this little extra divot and it's gonna happen on the other side. So it makes it look more like a belt, like if it was made from leather than if it was just like straps that you just sewed together. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Does it elevate and make it look more professional? Yes. So I could have left it just as is, no problem, and had done like the other strap and started sewing it in for the bullet casings. However, I wanted it to be more polished. I realize I need to check my bobbin casing. Come out, come out. I'm pretty sure I still have enough thread to go all the way around, but in these in the mindset of be prepared for anything, let's just double check. Okay, I still do have enough. Awesome. Y'all can stay in there for now. Have fun. Have at it. So this is what I'm talking about. It makes it look like it's more smooth, and very up close you could kind of see like it looks more, it has a more belt-like quality just by adding in a little stitch on the edge there. So we did that. And it stretches because I did the stretch stitch. So let's check the fit. And the fit is still fitting. Okay, cool. So let's see. I'm probably going to do the same thing on this side. This one I don't have to worry too much about it because I haven't folded it in half yet. Mainly because I need to figure out how am I gonna do the little slots. Like how far apart I have to sew the slots. Oh no, that's not gonna work there. Let's do this. pull it out. Come on, buddy. Wait, double check. Before I'm sewing and I have no more thread. Okay, I should have enough to at least do one side. I'll double check when I finish on this side and see how it's going. Whew! There we go. Having it hang off the table was making the weight be uneven, and therefore it was hard to... It was pulling it to the side. So I was like, nope, not doing that. Let's change that. Let's fix that. I'm suddenly very hungry, and I ate breakfast. That's the thing that bugs me. I ate at like 10. I shouldn't be this hungry at this moment, and yet I'm starving. Oh my gosh. I might need to take a break or stop early. I don't know. And I've been eating snacks, but it's like clearly not enough. So... Literally, I've gone out of my way to try to make sure I eat meals instead of snacking, because I will sit there and eat a gajillion snacks instead of eating a meal. So I need to figure out if I want to eat something and what will that be. Because I have like butternut squash soup in the refrigerator. I have beef curry. I have a few things to eat, so. Or I can air fry some shrimp tempura. Now I'm just like food mine. Especially since this is like such a mindless activity. I just have to stare at the needle and the fabric and make sure it's at the right spot. Okay. As I continue going forward. I'm zoning out. Oh no. It's like one of those things like, should I just start saying math equations? Recite useless information just so I can maintain focus on this. Oh, that's something else that I said on Instagram that I haven't said here yet. I got my copy of Onyx Storm from the Fourth Wing trilogy. It's the final book. We got it today. It came out yesterday. I'm probably not going to start reading it until I'm at my folks next week because I'm not going to be bringing a lot of stuff with me. And I figure since I'm going to be waiting a lot, that would be a good thing to a good time to utilize, like, reading time. So. Although it was crazy to see how much of a mess some of that release was, and how a lot of it had nothing to do with like the author and everything was all the publishers and how they did everything the wrong way. Terrifying. That like a New York Times bestseller, like a huge book on that label on that in that publishing house was like so much stuff happened incorrectly and improperly. Like books were being sold before release, before the street date, and it was just like, I don't even know. Or books were being put out on the shelves before the street date, so it's like, but they weren't selling them, but they had them out. And it's like, why are you even tempting people to like basically camp out in your store for the whole day to read this book? Because they will. Or they'll read like or they like scan like the last pages just so they can know the ending before they get spoiled, because I have a feeling that is gonna happen to a ton of people who've already been spoiled, and I'm just like, I hate the internet. No, get me wrong, I am not like a purist that I need to not, you know, I'm not like, oh my god, spoilers, like I really don't care, but like sometimes I care enough that I'm like, no, I want to see what happens. I don't want to be spoiled so easily. And especially if it's something important, I'd rather find out by myself through reading the book than anything else. Okay. Decided to fill up a bobbin. So once I start figuring out where I need to place the stitches for the bullet casing, I can just go in and start doing that. But darn it, I really want a snack. Already, no wonder, it's 2:30. That's why I want a snack. I want a snack because it's 2:30 in the afternoon. Let's see. I have a headache, man. I'm tired. Okay. That place accepted my feedback. I'm still mad my filament isn't coming until tomorrow. That's just rude. Oh, now the moms, instead of complaining, now because school has happened and occurred and stuff like that, now they're complaining about the utility bills. It's like, yes, your electricity bill is gonna be a little higher than usual, buddy. It is winter. A lot of we use electricity. Not necessarily to heat the homes entirely, but more like, to like deal with like all the mechanical stuff, so I'm not gonna lie, moms groups are like the best place. I remember my old neighborhood where I lived in North Carolina. There were some wild stories that always used to come up in the moms groups, like about their spouses or significant others cheating on them, and like all this wild, like wild west stuff happening. And I'm just like, aren't we supposed to talk about like play dates and like what's the best way to get your kid to eat their vegetables? Like what is this madhouse of a mom's group? I'm not even gonna lie, moms groups are scary places. Like a lot of them are over here playing like, you know, like they're pretending they're like part of like Magnum PI or something like that and trying to find out the whole scoop about everything. Anytime I hear something going on in the news, I go to Reddit or the moms groups. That's it. And sometimes like the moms won't say anything and Reddit has all the tea. So I'm on the I'm on the subreddits reading all the craziness that's happening. It's the Wild West out there. I should increase the speed on this, but I'm also scared to increase the speed. In the sense that I'm not going to keep the line straight. I'm like focused and honed in. Huzzah! We got that done. Okay. So let's see. I guess I'll show what my thought process is before I sign off. What the hell? think a ruler. Okay, let's put this on the floor. Okay, where's the bullet? So this is the belt. So I'm thinking what we'll do is essentially just... Here, we'll put it over here. If the bullet runs away from me. So I'm thinking, well, this, I can sew it in here like that to hide the seam, right? And then I'll hide the seam this way, right? And then we'll put the bullet in and just sew it down. Obviously, I need to make sure it's gonna stay nice and tight. And then sew it down in that area. Well, since I haven't sewn it down yet, let's just keep those clips in there for now. So we'll do bam, boom, and then slide the bullet in and sew down here, put the bullet there, sew down here, so it's like you kind of get like a little place, and then the bullets will stick like this out, and I'll paint them gold, and it works out really well. So that's how that's gonna work out. And the belt's gonna be like 2-plied, so it looks really nice. So that's the plan for the belts. So hopefully I can finish it tonight. It's gonna be more tedious work, and then after that I will have a count of how many bullet casings I need, and then I can have my friend print out the rest of these and the other one for my hair, because that would be cool. Because I could also try to maybe use this one. This is too small though. I like this one. I like this. I think this is like the best one. And just kind of like have it like that. Let me see how the other ones look. Hold on. Like I said, I have like a mini arsenal in here. Oh, this one's actually more rounded. Maybe this one. It's a little thinner than that one. Nah, I like this one. This one gives it the girth I was thinking of. Yeah, this works out well. Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we'll do it this way. And then we'll just do it, and then like we have it a little on here, and we'll see the gold on the top and on the bottom. So that's it. All right, I am going to head off. I don't have much time left before witching hour settles in. Oh, witching hour. I always have that to worry about. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, probably with not sewing, probably with something else, because I need to get work done. Look, I have a lot of work I need to get done, and I'm just kind of, it needs to be done. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to sign off. Hopefully by the time I come back on Friday, the belt will be done, and who knows what else. I had like so many things like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it didn't happen, but it's fine. I'm going to be working on this off stream because I need it done like now. So I'm going to work on that. So I'm going to head off. I wish you a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and I will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern to do some co-working and co-writing, because we gotta get things done. So Have a lovely day and stay safe, stay warm, and take care.